I'm Paige, and I'm 38 years old. I'm a housewife, and I live as a family of 3 with my husband, who is a salaryman, and my daughter, Pam, who goes to kindergarten. Pam takes swimming lessons taught by my big brother, Paul, but it looks like she really enjoys her time there. When I went to pick her up at the swimming pool the other day, Pam, how was your swimming lesson today?
I was able to swim within 25 meters today. It's my new record.
Wow, that's great. Alrighty, for dinner today, I'll cook your favorite cream stew, Pam.
Yay! I love eating cream stew.
My beloved daughter is growing up day by day. Nothing makes me happier than that as a mother. Thanks to Pam, I live a very happy and fulfilling life, but...
Paige! Help me!
Paul came running towards us with a pale face and hid behind me. Oh, it's happening again. I instantly knew what was going on. And, as I expected, that person approached us.
Paul, why are you running away from me? Are you feeling shy because I was being touchy with you?
I'm sorry, I'm a bit busy right now.
The person who approached us with hearts in her eyes was Kathy. After Kathy caught up with us, Paul quickly ran away to somewhere else. She's a huge fan of Paul. As you know, my brother Paul used to be unfashionable and looked kind of lame. But as he grew up, he transformed into a handsome man, which really took us by surprise. He used to look like this back in the past, but I wonder what made him transform into such a handsome guy. It's one of the mysteries of our family, I guess. Oopsie, let's get back on track. And this woman right here called Kathy lives in a skyscraper condominium nearby with her husband Thomas. Thomas's parents and her son Kane. Kane also takes the same swimming lessons from Paul, so Kathy is here to pick him up. I just don't get along with her, to the point where I haven't even told her that Paul was my brother. Once I tell her that we're siblings, I'm sure that she'll annoy me even more. She's really hard to deal with. It turns out that Pam also disliked Kane. According to Pam, Kane would always say, "My family is rich, so you'll benefit from marrying me," and annoy her continuously saying that, well, Pam is quite popular among the boys. When Kathy was trying to flirt with Paul in front of us, Kane was talking to Pam next to me.
Pam, do you know? What makes a man attractive is the amount of money he has. The decisive point is whether he has money or not. My house has 2 living rooms, 5 bathrooms, 2 attics.
He was rambling on, and then Pam mumbled under her breath just loud enough for me to hear.
He's really annoying.
I heard her mumble those words, but then...
Oh, God, Paige. Because you got in the way. Paul went away.
I didn't do anything.
I don't know if you're also after Paul, but don't get too close to him. Don't you ever flirt with him, okay?
I think that will never happen.
I'm a rich madam living in one of the most expensive condominiums in this area. You understand that? Don't you ever talk back to me. Understood?
Yes, this is what I'm talking about. I don't know what triggers it, but when she starts bragging about living in an expensive condominium, Kathy gets really annoying. I've heard some rumors from other mother friends, but the reason why you're able to live in that condominium is because of the parents of her husband, Thomas, are rich. When they used up all their money and was about to go into debt, Thomas's parents helped them. And that's why they can afford to live in a condominium. And the reason why Kane is able to take swimming lessons is probably because Thomas's parents pay for them. Well, it's none of my business. I just see Kathy when we come and pick up our kids from the swimming lessons, so I try not to think too much about it. But something that made it impossible to ignore her happened after this. That day, Pam came back from kindergarten in the morning, so Pam and I went to eat sushi. But when we arrived at the restaurant...
Oh!
Kathy, Thomas, and Kane were approaching us from the opposite direction. Gosh, here comes Kathy.
Are you about to have a meal at this sushi restaurant?
Huh? Yes. When I answered, Kathy and Thomas started whispering to each other. What are they talking about? We'll get going then. I tried to go inside the restaurant as quickly as possible with Pam. Huh? But I felt someone behind me, so when I looked back, Kathy, Thomas, and Kane were following us. I had a bad feeling, but Pam and I went inside the restaurant, and the staff came to greet us, but Kathy, who was behind us, cut in saying,
Oh, we know each other. So can we get a table next to each other?
Huh? Hey, I don't want to eat sushi with them. I knew I'll have to listen to her brag again. I really hated that idea. I wanted a table that was far away, but it looks like the staff was busy and simply took us to sit next to Kathy's family. Kane said to Pam,
Hey, look at my watch! I asked my granny the other day to buy it for me. Isn't it so cool? A man's worth is decided by their watch, you know?
He was annoying her again.
Disgusting.
She mumbled in a voice that I could only catch. But once we started eating sushi, Kathy especially didn't talk to us, so I was feeling relieved. Yeah, I guess they won't be annoying us. But they're big eaters, and they're only ordering expensive ones. I was shocked to see that they only ate the special sushi placed on expensive plates. At that moment,
Pam wants eggs.
huh, eggs? Don't you want to eat fish?
I want the same as you, so I want eggs, Mom.
She was copying me who loved egg dishes, so Pam was also continuously eating eggs. Then Pam told me that she wanted to use the restroom. So I took her to the restroom. And when we got back to our table, I heard the staff tell them that the total was $30. This was the type of restaurant where the staff would come to your table, count the number of plates, and pay the total. But it looks like Kathy's family was going home after having their meal. Huh? They ate so many expensive sushi, but how come they were only charged $30? I thought something was off, but I didn't worry too much about it. I didn't want to get involved. When I took a glance at the plates piled up in front of me, huh? What the hell is this? 1, 2, 3. There were 13 plates that were used to serve the expensive sushi, which I didn't remember ordering. What is going on? I quickly called the staff to our table, and I explained what was happening. I had her check the security cameras. It turns out that Kathy and her husband were stacking their plates that served expensive sushi on our table. Gosh, they tried to make me pay. This is unforgivable. They took me to the back rooms, and I asked my mom's friends for Kathy's contacts and got in touch with her. While I did that, the staff called the police. And a few minutes later, the back room door leading to the room Pam and I was in opened with a bang.
What are you thinking, Paige?
Kathy, Thomas, and Kane came in the room. I don't know why she was reacting this way, but she yelled at me as soon as she came in, and...
Sir, Paige told us in advance that she would pay for our meal.
Huh?
But I felt too sorry to have them pay for everything. So while they were away, we decided to pay a small portion and paid a total of $30. But look at Paige. I bet she's jealous that we're rich. She came up with this whole story, made us look like a villain, and made a big deal out of it by calling the police. Unbelievable.
What the hell? How come she's making up all this nonsense? Should I just stuff cucumbers in her mouth and roll it up with seaweed? I was really furious this time. But Pam, who was next to me, did something smart right after this. Kathy's family ended up begging for our forgiveness while they wept, leaving them with a hilarious fate.
Paige, you're awful. Hey, Kane, it was Aunt Paige who said she'll pay for the meal in front of the restaurant, right?
Yeah, she said that. Aunt Paige insisted that we should eat sushi.
Gosh, does she think she can deceive the police if her kid backs up her story with a lie? Horrible. I can't take this anymore. I'm fighting back. At the moment, I stood up, making up my mind.
lying.
Huh?
Pam hates men who lies the most. They're what I hate the most in this world. Kane, I know you're lying.
Huh?
You always follow me around, bragging about how rich you are. But while Mom and Pam were using the restroom, you played your trick and tried to make us pay for your meal. So unfair. I hate it the most when people are unfair and lie.
Hey?
Did you know? Liars cheat on their partners all the time. You're the enemy of women. And when things make a turn in a way they don't like, stingy men ran away all the time. They even make up excuses and try to cover up the truth, saying things that sound nice. Even if they do things like this, they just blame it on others and make random excuses to get off the hook. Can you believe it? You're the very worst among all men. I hate those kind of guys the most in this whole universe.
Pam grabbed my arm looking mad, and after she said that with a very mature expression, the air in the room seemed to change. The way Pam was acting looked like she was an office worker who was scolding the lame guy who confessed to her. As her mother, I always get surprised when she acts like a grown-up sometimes. But it was cute to see a little girl say something so mature, and I couldn't hold in my laughter. I burst out laughing. On the other hand, Kane had tears in his eyes.
I'm sorry. Mom told me to say that Aunt Paige promised to pay for our meal, so I couldn't help it. Please forgive me.
When Kane desperately explained to Pam with tears in his eyes, the police glared at Kathy.
Hey, Kane! What are you saying? Sir, this is a misunderstanding. It's... Kane, shut your mouth.
Kathy and Thomas tried to silence Kane by covering his mouth forcefully, but Kane yelled.
Get off me! Let me go! It's all Mom's fault! You told me to lie, and now Pam hates me!
As he screamed, he made a tantrum. And then Pam added,
Mom, can I borrow your phone?
Huh? Oh, okay, sure. I lent her my phone, feeling excited about what she planned to do next.
Hello, Uncle Paul?
Huh? You... Uncle Paul? Uncle... You mean...
Kathy, who didn't know that Paul was my real brother, said that looking confused.
Uncle Paul, do you know Kane's grandmother's contacts? Great, I thought you knew. Can you tell her to come to the sushi restaurant in our neighborhood?
Hey, stop it.
Oh, I get it now. There's a high possibility that Paul knew Kathy's mother-in-law's contacts. It's Kathy who comes to pick up her son, but her mother-in-law seems to be the one who pays for the tuition.
If you call my mother-in-law, we're doomed. When we got in debt before and moved in with them in the condominium, they got really angry at us.
Then her face and Thomas's face, who was holding Kane in place from moving around, went completely pale. Then...
We're very sorry. Please keep this a secret from my mother-in-law.
Kathy and Thomas got onto their knees in front of Pam, who was on the phone. 2 adults were on their knees in front of a kindergartner. What a view.
Huh? What are you saying? You think life is so easy? You cause so much trouble to Pam from the Page family, but you think you'll get off the hook? Let me tell you, but being punished by Kane's grandmother is not the only thing that's gonna happen to you.
Huh? What is it?
Actually, Dad and Mom aren't the only people who loves me dearly. After Kane's grandmother, my grandmother will be up next.
Yeah, she's definitely gonna come to bat first in our family.
After her, you'll have to face my grandfather, and eventually my uncle as well. Then, my great-grandparents would be waiting for you. Oh, I'm telling you this beforehand, but it's too late to escape, because we have Aunt Phoebe on our side. You better experience hell once and regret your mistakes.
You think life is so easy? Heard her say that. They're being told off by a kindergartner. A few moments later, Kathy's mother-in-law arrived. After bowing deeply to me and Pam, she yelled vigorously at Kathy, Thomas, and Kane. Then Kathy revealed to the police what they did, and they were taken to the police station. After that, the police also found out that they dined and dashed at another restaurant. When they came begging for help after being in debt, her mother-in-law helped them out, but this time they decided to break relations with them. They had to start living a completely different life from the one they were lived in the condominium. And now both Kathy and Thomas live their life crying in jail. Well, I bet it's still going to be hard for them after coming out of jail. The Page family is waiting for them. Apparently, her mother-in-law adopted Kane, but she strictly managed his schedule every day. She would have him study, help her with housework, and do volunteer activities around the neighborhood for most of the day. And she's responsibly trying to educate him again. By the way, he no longer had time to take swimming lessons, so it seemed like he quit. Like this, they got what they deserved, so I felt very refreshed. On the other hand, now that Kathy wasn't around, both Paul and I no longer had to feel uncomfortable or annoyed by her at the swimming school. Pam was also smiling and said she felt free now that Kane wasn't around. I can say that everyone is enjoying life to its fullest right now. The other day, Paul visited us.
Hi, Paige. Hi, Pam.
Oh, Uncle Paul! Hello!
Hey there, Paul. Wait, what's that large box?
Pam told me she wanted me to bring as many comic books as possible, so I gathered everything I could get my hands on. I usually handed them to her after her swimming lessons, but we're on a long break now, so I brought tons of them all together.
That's a lot of girls' comics. Do you usually read them too, Paul?
Pam already finished reading dinosaur-themed ones. Girls' comics are really great when you want to be a guy who understands how girls feel. But I'm single while I'm saying this.
Don't cry, Uncle Paul. Someday, your hard work will finally pay off.
The reason Pam is so mature. I get it now. It's because she was reading the comics you let her borrow. Gosh, it really made me think that you'll achieve great things in the future this time.
Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!